here from the hurricane hunters flying around inside of Milton. We saw a pinhole eye forming overnight last night. That's usually the sign of a rapidly strengthening hurricane, and that's what we got. It is now officially a major hurricane, a Category 3 with winds of 120 miles per hour. So there it goes. You can see the little symbol switch over. This is a loop, and it goes from 1, 2, then eventually to Category 3 strength. And now you can really see this little pinhole eye. That's what's developing overnight last night. That pinhole eye means these winds are really wrapping around and strengthening, and that is what we've been seeing. And now we do have a major hurricane with Milton, 120 mile per hour winds. The pressures have dropped to 954 millibars. Now, some of the modeling suggests this could ramp up to a Category 5 storm. So this is going to become a very powerful system. It already is. And it's going to continue to track off to the, right now to the east-southeast, but eventually it'll make a northeast turn and head up towards the peninsula of Florida. Now, the official forecast track calls for a Category 4 storm with winds getting up to 145 miles per hour, but it does show some weakening right before landfall because some dry air is likely to get wrapped into it. Unfortunately, though, because it's going to get so strong, it's not going to have enough time to wind down a whole lot. In fact, it'll likely still be at least a Category 3 at landfall. Now, that landfall, the spread on the forecast is still pretty wide, so we're still trying to get some more details on exactly where it's going to make landfall, and that'll be super critical, especially to Tampa Bay. That is really going to be the most critical part of all of this, because this is obviously a major population center, and they haven't been hit by a major hurricane in more than 100 years. And the possibilities of the storm surge in Tampa Bay are pretty epic with this storm. If it makes sort of a path that goes pretty much near Tampa Bay or just to the north of Tampa Bay, they could be seeing storm surge in excess of 12 feet. Now, they saw 6 feet during Helene, and that caused major issues. So double or more is a very real possibility. And once again, there is a lot of population in and around this area that has never experienced a major hurricane. They've been brushed, but they've never taken a direct impact in more, or at least more than 100 years. So folks that are living there have never been through a direct hit of a major hurricane. High rip current risk, that's the only impacts that we'll see a part of the northern Gulf Coast. This front right here, that's going to be pushing on past us later on today. That is what's going to protect us from this storm. The storm can't jump over that cold front, so there's no way it makes a big turn to the north and heads towards us. That will not happen. All right, just not going to happen. It'll hit the west coast of Florida. There's still, once again, a pretty wide spread along the west coast of Florida, but that's where it's headed. Temperatures for us today, it's going to be nice, but it'll be hot, near 90 this afternoon. We're out ahead of the front today, so we still get up to around 90 this afternoon. Then this evening, really pleasant. Temperatures dropping back off into the 70s, so a nice night if you got some things to do here after work. And look at this long-range forecast for us. I don't know, kind of a little bit of a guilt complex for us, because once again, another major hurricane making landfall to our neighbors to the east, and here we are. And we're going to have beautiful weather. We're going to kind of glide into fall. It's not like a big dip. It's not like we're going to go off the edge of a temperature cliff here next couple of days. It still stays pretty mild, pretty warm in the afternoons in the mid-80s. The mornings, though, will be super pleasant. The humidity is going to be way down. It is going to be really nice. Then the afternoons will eventually come down to the low 80s as well. So kind of like gliding into fall. Beautiful weather, though, for us all week long. Lots of sunshine and really great conditions on our part of the Gulf Coast.